Yeah, Mr. President, you have a deadline coming up on trade in 2 weeks. Which countries, if any, on trade, on tariffs, sir? Which countries, if any, are close to agreements with the administration?
Well, that's an interesting question. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal with probably 4 or 5 different countries. With the UK, it was a great deal for both. And we're in the process of making some others. But ultimately, in fact, Scott is here. And Howard Lutnick, these 2 guys have been doing an incredible job. And the people that work with them have been doing an incredible job. But, you know, we have 200 countries. You could say 200 countries plus. We can't do that. So at a certain point over the next week and a half or so, or maybe before, we're going to send out a letter. We talked to many of the countries, and we're just going to tell them what they have to pay to do business in the United States. And it's going to go very quickly. But some of the bigger countries, so India, I think we're going to reach a deal where we have the right to go in and trade. Right now it's restricted. You can't walk in there. You can't even think about it. We're looking to get a full trade barrier dropping, which is unthinkable. And I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But as of this moment, we've agreed to that, go into Indian trade. We're going to be trading in China. That's going to come a little bit down the road, but we're going to be trading in China. We have a lot of great things going, and we're getting along with countries, but some will be disappointed because they're going to have to pay tariffs. And we've taken in already hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. No inflation. The only problem we have is we have a Fed guy that doesn't understand what's happening, and it would be great if he'd lower the rate because we'd be able to borrow a lot cheaper. Yeah, go ahead, please.
A question on
Why don't we keep it on this subject? This is such a big subject. You know what? Trade is so big, but this, I don't know, in a certain way, this might be bigger than trade. I think this is bigger than trade. Yeah.
GDP report comes out on Monday, so we will officially be in a recession. No, you don't understand. It's a different terminology that they will use to describe it. But like, so did the Democrats, really. The Democrats did that as well when they were in charge.
President, if you look at the back at the last week, it's been extraordinary in terms of the action in the Middle East. You were at The Hague.
I'm wondering now, hell of a week, hasn't it?
I'm wondering now if you believe that Iran. I'm wondering now, sir, if you believe that Iran has given up its long history of ambitions with nuclear weapons, or what you would like to see from them to prove that they do, and what type of meetings is your administration looking for next week with Iran?
So Iran wants to meet. As you know, their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. They were now has been proven. We had some fake news for a little while.
They're evil nuclear sites. The sites they're so evil, much more evil than regular nuclear sites. There's an evil aura to their nuclear sites, and we obliterated them.
The same people.
And if you say we didn't obliterate them, you're a liar, and you're hurting the feelings of our big, beautiful bombers, our big, beautiful bombers that worked long and hard to make these big, beautiful bombs specifically for this evil nuclear site.
People that covered the Hunter Biden laptop was from Russia, the same people that did 3 or 4 other Russia hoax.
Yeah, hit that.
No.
Hit that note, too.
Wait, just listen. They came up with something that delayed the credit that our great pilots and these great what talent that was, and they hit it right down in the spot. 52,000 feet. Think of this dark, no moon, you couldn't see a thing, and they hit the refrigerator door, as they say. That's the size of a target, and overwhelmingly, and it's amazing what was done. We're the only ones that could have done it, and we took out the 2 of the other sites also. In addition to that, we finished them off. That was a very evil intention. I believe that, and again, time will tell, but I don't believe that they're going to go back into nuclear anytime soon. They spent over $1 trillion on nuclear, and they never got it together. And nothing was moved from the site, by the way. To do that is very dangerous. It's very, very heavy material. Those cars were most likely the cars of masons because they were pouring concrete at the top, at the hatch, as you know, the hatch going into the nuclear site. They wanted to reinforce it, and they had some masons there pouring concrete. By the way, that concrete was obliterated. It hit exactly at the concrete. It was, I don't think it had a chance to dry, but everything's down there. It's under millions of tons of rock. Please. Yes.
Your administration has said said that El Salvador is one of the safest countries in the hemisphere. So why haven't you yet canceled temporary protective status for that country? Was it part of the deal?
Well, we'll take a look. We've had a great relationship with El Salvador. They have a
The more he says it, the more I don't believe it. Yeah. It's hard. He is not very convincing. They're so evil, so much evil you wouldn't understand. We've done it. We eliminated the evil. He's very convincing to a lot of people. I know. But there's not much you can do about that, can you? I mean, I can try my very best to try and explain to people that this is most likely not true, but there's always going to be people that hang on to every word.
A fantastic leader. They built a massive prison system, and I don't know exactly why, but it's a hell of a system. And we bring people there, and when they go there, they don't get out.
Aren't cult leaders supposed to be charismatic? I mean, he is charismatic. He is charismatic. He's charismatic in general, but he's certainly incredibly charismatic to his cult.
And frankly, when they hear they have to go there, they become very nice people. They become very nice people. It's a tough system, but it's a brilliant system, and it's a system done by a very, very good leader. We'll talk about El Salvador. A lot of respect. Yeah, please.
Thank you. A question for you, and then a question for the Attorney General. As you go into negotiations and talks with Iran, are you demanding not only that there would be no uranium production inside of Iran, but also that Iran would turn over all existing stockpiles of uranium?
Dude, they're gonna do there's reports already. There's reports already that state that America is most likely going to allow Iran to continue enriching uranium at the level necessary for civil use, and that they will maintain their nuclear facilities. I mean, who knows? Who knows with Trump? Okay, remember, and it's not just Trump. It obviously has a lot to do with. It obviously has a lot to do not just with Trump, but also with Israel as well. But it does feel like they're willing to go towards the JCPOA. However, I don't know what the Iranian side's perspective is on this because today he said this. He said, I dropped all work on sanction relief. Iran has to get back into the world order flow or things will get worse for them. Like he's doing the if you don't play ball with me. Like on the one hand, there's reports that they are willing to let Iran enrich uranium and have a civil nuclear grid, which is the JCPOA, right? Obviously, sanctions relief is the is what Americans are supposed to also allow or give Iran in exchange for not enriching uranium beyond 5% or 3 to 5%. But then that goes against Israel's interests. Israel does not want a JCPOA as they got Trump to toss it aside initially. So who knows?
Well, we're a little early for that, but something like that, yeah, we'll do something like that. Let me say that I've been saying for 25 years, even as a civilian, you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. And that's what happened. It's been obliterated. It would be years before they could ever get going. And I really think it's probably the last thing. They have to recover from a hell of a tough war.
Would you also be demanding that the IAEA have full rights to inspect in Iran?
Or somebody, yeah, or somebody that we respect,
and then
including ourselves.
And a question.
It's a big deal. We talk about Russia, and we're working that one. President Putin called up, and he said, I'd love to help you with Iran. I said, do me a favor. I'll handle Iran. Help me with Russia. We got to get that one settled. And I think something's going to happen there. But we did some great work. India and Pakistan. That was going to be maybe nuclear. We did that. We did a lot of work. I don't know if there's ever been a president that's done much more. Serbia, Kosovo was going to go at it. Going to be a big war. I said, you go at it. There's no trade with the United States. They said, well, maybe we won't go at it. That's what happened with India and Pakistan.
He's so good. He's stopping conflicts from even happening ahead of time. That's right. 100-year war, they're saying. France and England. You'd think they're friends, but they're not friends. They were about to do a 100-year war. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. I'll tariff you. I'll tariff you into oblivion. Immediately, they stopped. They stopped dead in their tracks. They were trying to expand. They were saying, we're going to take over Austria. They're German. We're German. I said, don't do it. I said, don't you dare do it. They stopped dead in their tracks. Before they could reach Poland, I told them, don't, I'll tariff you. No president has ever done this before.
I was negotiating with both of them, and I said to Scott, I said to Howard, cancel all deals with India and Pakistan. They're not trading with us because they're in a war. They called back, what do we do? I said,
he wanted Sudetenland. It's the apple of his eye. The chancellor came to me and said, we want this. We want it bad. I said, no, Chancellor, you will not. You will not get it.
You want to have trade with the United States. It's great. But you want to go and start using nuclear weapons on each other? We're not going to allow that. And they both agreed. Both have great leaders. They both agreed not to do it. So we did a lot. But I appreciate that question.